on top of the Manhattan Municipal Building, and she is considered, or at least I'd like to consider her to be America's first supermodel. Okay, now we're on the west side. Okay, so here's the Time Warner Center. Anybody know Larry King? You're Larry King? I don't like Larry King too much, but I actually bumped into him one day coming out of here. I won't tell you where the first place I saw him was, when I was working for CNN. So. Larry King I consider a prima donna. You know, he's everything. He would come in from Washington to do a show for me here from New York, and we were given explicit instructions not to eat the food in his dressing room, you know, in the studio there. We were not allowed to touch Larry's food. So I kind of like lost respect because I couldn't eat the food. It was terrible. So over here is, this is 8th Avenue over here. And as 8th Avenue comes up, that becomes Central Park West. Okay, now this is Broadway. Remember I told you Broadway is the longest street in America, 150 miles. This is Broadway that we're crossing over. So I really wanted to give you an idea as to how, you know, just to give you a sense of how big Central Park is. It's really, when they built the park, the idea was that it would be, because the population was really becoming, you know, Manhattan was becoming overpopulated and there was really no open space. They came up with this idea that they wanted to have this park where people, you know, rich, poor, could all come and be able to, you know, maybe congregate, relax, you know, because when people emigrated to New York, they stayed pretty much where we were near Battery Park, and then they started moving up, and every place they kept going. So then this was like almost like the suburbs here of New York at one point, and people just kept moving up the island of Manhattan. Okay, so now we're going to come to one of my most favorite part of the tours, 5th Avenue. When we get up there, the retail district here between 59th Street and 47th Street is the richest retail district in the world. Ladies, you may want to take out a pen and paper and jot down some of my suggestions. This is the part of the tour where you love me and your husbands hate me. Okay, because I'm going to point out some very fancy jewelry stores. Who likes diamonds? We like diamonds. Oh, these diamonds aren't fake. Chocolate. Okay, there's Carnegie Hall right down there. If there's any fancy florists, I mean, what better things do women like than you know, diamonds, chocolate, and flowers, right? Maybe a puppy dog. Okay, everybody loves puppy dogs. Okay, so this is a fun part of the tour. You get to see a lot of fancy, very upscale stores. The Apple Store, by the way, as I said, it is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I visited the store. One of the best things about visiting the store is my daughter had a question about her iPod, and she got to go and talk to a salesman and not have to pay for tech support. So that was a real good thing. So she enjoyed that. But it was very, very crowded. So if you're really into Apple products, this is the place to come to. A lot of fun. Oh, the store, when we get a little closer, I'll point out the store to you. It's glass. It's got an apple on it. And you guys kind of either walk down the stairs or take an elevator down. So it's probably, I think it's the highest grossing Apple store in the world. So if you know, and obviously it's very popular. It wouldn't be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know, if it wasn't. But this is a really fun area here. You know, to come visit, just to even walk around. If you're into people watching, it's a lot of fun. It doesn't look like, I haven't seen too many horse rides. You know, the carriage rides here for the horses. It's probably just too hot for them. But if you happen to want to ride,